Hey, this is Brett. When was the last time you talked to your kids about money? It's something adults rarely speak about openly, especially with kids around. And let's be real, with household debt reaching all-time highs in the United States, it's glaringly obvious most adults aren't equipped to teach the next generation how to live debt-free, much less build wealth.
Household debt rising to record levels as more Americans struggle to pay the bills.
Well, millions of Americans are feeling the financial sting of mounting credit card debt. Balances climbing to a record high of over $1 trillion.
We've seen this explosion in debt overall. Credit card balances especially have hit a new record at the end of last year, nearly $1 trillion.
Given these grim results, I think it's time to take a different approach with the next generation of adults by having real conversations with our kids about money. But how can we have the money talk when our personal finances might not be perfect, or we never even had that discussion with our own parents? In this video, I'm inviting you inside my home to share the approach I'm using to help my two daughters understand this important topic. And my hope is that you'll be able to take some of these ideas, use them in your own home, and let me know what's worked to teach your own kids about this topic in the comments section below. Now, you might disagree with me on this, and that's totally fine, but I believe the main reason consumer debt in America is higher than ever is because so many of us never learned about money from our parents or had any classes about the topic at school. And our kids' best chance at getting a better plan is going to be from you. No pressure. So here's the first approach I'm using to kickstart this conversation with my own kids. So growing up, I remember my dad sitting me down at the kitchen table to explain how our household budget worked. He started with our income, one line, followed by a long list of monthly expenses like food, insurance, gas, phone bill, and electricity on the back of a napkin to illustrate why we didn't have any money left over despite both parents working full-time. Looking back, I appreciate the effort to teach me about the overhead of, living as an adult, but at the time, I really just wanted a Super Nintendo, right? So here's the approach I'm trying with my kids instead. Kids are natural explorers, and they're always learning about the world around them through play. So why not make the subject of money feel more like playing a game? And the good news is, we can introduce concepts like earning, saving, investing, spending through games that can be purchased one time and used for years to come. And one of these games my 7-year-old has really gotten into is called the Cash Flow for Kids board game. This game is created by Robert Kiyosaki, author of the Rich Dad Poor Dad book series. This board game makes the subject of money a family activity instead of a chore. Here's the breakdown. Each player starts with a job and salary. But just like in real life, there are also bills to pay and financial decisions to make. The real twist comes with the concept of doodads, those tempting purchases that eat away at our cash but don't add any value to our lives. An example of a doodad expense is buying the latest video game using a high-interest credit card that you need to work hard to pay off every month, reducing your cash flow. Kids learn to think twice before splurging on toys or games in the game, and instead focus on acquiring assets defined as things that put money back into their pocket by investing in a small business or buying a rental property. And I've got to say, it's pretty fun to see my 7-year-old be like, oh no, I need to pay for a birthday party, when one of those expense cards comes up in the game. At the age of 7, my daughter quickly realized that it's better to reinvest that money into an income-producing asset instead of spending it on toys or electronics. We'll see if she ever applies that to the real world, but I think it's a good start. And I think you'll be amazed too at how quickly your kid shifts their spending into buying assets so they can win the game of life by becoming financially independent when their passive income exceeds their living expenses. And the more you play, you'll notice your kid gradually picking up concepts like expenses, cash flow, and credit card debt. It's fun to watch. Another game that we like is called the allowance game. This one is perfect for younger players 5 to 10 years of age. The goal of the allowance game is to save $20 by earning money through chores, birthdays, or running a lemonade stand. And just like in the real world, unexpected expenses pop up, teaching kids the importance of being prepared for the unexpected. Considering almost half of adults in America can't cover a $1,000 unexpected expense, I'd say this is a lesson more adults need to learn too. In addition to saving money, this game teaches the basics of counting money and making change with quarters, dimes, nickels, and bills. As you can see, the game board looks like a simpler version of Monopoly, basically, making it an easy game to pick up and start playing right away. Here's idea number 2. Back in the good old days, cash was king. Seeing money change hands and feeling that jingle in our pockets was a familiar sensation. And there's just something oddly appealing about the smell and feel of money that came along with carrying around physical currency. It just made you feel like you had some type of treasure that you were holding on to. Now fast forward to today, and our experience with money has changed dramatically. Our transactions are swiped, tapped, and clicked, making physical money a rare sight. This shift, while convenient, has downsides too. Kids growing up today might never see, touch, or interact with physical money, making it more difficult to understand what those digits on a screen are meant to represent. Enter the piggy bank. A timeless tool that's gaining new importance. To my surprise, my kids love having a piggy bank where they can collect coins and, put a few dollar bills into. They love looking at them, sorting them, stacking them, and yes, even asking questions about the money itself.
Daddy, if I count all of these, can I buy something that's ginormous? Can I buy something? That's a huge something.
This simple act of engaging with physical money opens a gateway to different lessons too, and I found that it's an opportunity to teach them not just about the value of a penny or a nickel, but to explore the concept of value itself, whose face is printed on the money, and other details like the year each coin was printed. In a world where money is increasingly abstract, understanding that real tangible value exists is a profound lesson that future generations might not understand unless they're taught. Case in point, you can already find hundreds of videos online that spotlight how ordinary people have zero knowledge that there's value in things like gold, silver, and other precious metals.
Gold bar? Free gold bar? Sir, a gold bar for you. Doesn't want it. You see the one, JP?
Now, I bet some of these folks featured in this video, they just didn't want to be hassled, right, by some random guy on the street. And I can certainly appreciate that. But I bet there were other people that were never taught the value of precious metals by their parents. And I think this is something less and less people will recognize as having any value in the next 5 to 10 years. Here's idea number 3. So we all know that reading is a fantastic way to introduce new concepts. So with enthusiasm and high hopes, I set off on a mission to find the perfect books to help my girls grasp the ins and outs of money. Titles like Escape the Rat Race and The Savings Bear. They sounded like they'd be instant hits, packed with lessons and adventures, but there's a twist in this story, and not everything goes according to plan as a parent. Despite our nightly reading routine and my best efforts to spark an interest, none of these books have clicked with my kids yet. They're just not into it. It's one of those moments that remind me what works for one kid might not work for another, right? Each child is unique with their own interests, attention spans, and ways of learning. But here's the silver lining. Every attempt is a learning opportunity. Maybe the next book, game, or activity is going to be the one that sparks genuine interest in the topic with your kid. Now, to all the parents and guardians out there trying to navigate the vast ocean of different resources out there, let's keep trying new things. Keep the conversation going in the comments section below. Let me know what you're doing to raise financially smarter kids. And while we're on the topic of trying new things, let me know what you think about this next experiment. On our upcoming road trip, instead of looping Kids Bop songs on repeat, I'm going to play the audiobook of Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I got this idea from a dad who spoke at a marketing conference a couple years back where on a long drive, instead of playing the usual playlist, he put on the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book for his kids. And guess what? He was blown away by the way his kids were able to soak up the concepts that were meant for, really adults. Intrigued? I know I certainly was, and I promise to keep you posted on how this one works out. Are they gonna be inspired, or are they just gonna beg for the return of Kids Bop and Bluey? I suspect probably the latter, but let's give it a shot. Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, it's gonna be an interesting ride. And who knows, this could be the start of a great new tradition that we always do in the car together. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'm a small channel, and this really helps get these videos out to more people. Share it with any other parents that you know. And if you're looking for a side business or other ways to improve your financial situation, check out my database of 102 business ideas in the resource box below this video. Access to the database is free and gives you side hustle ideas with revenue numbers and startup costs for each business. This database includes revenue from profitable solo-founded business opportunities you might not know about, like parking lot cleaning, towing, junk removal, auto detailing, online businesses, and more. If you're looking for a new business idea this year, sign up for the database below this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.